Coming up, we're going to talk about the best DVC resorts to stay at if you're not planning to visit the parks. Coming up next on this edition of the DVC Show. The DVC Show is brought to you by DVCstore.com. Since 1994, the DVC Store has sold more than 25,000 Disney Vacation Club resale contracts. Let their experts welcome you home to Disney Vacation Club. Head over to DVCstore.com to check out all their current resale listings. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Miss Jackie Gailey.
Hi, everybody.
Mr. Jerry Saito.
Hello.
Miss Jamie Carr.
Hello.
And joining us via Skype, Skier Pete Scheidley. How are you,
Hi.
Pete?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for being with us. Now, let me introduce some of the new faces that are here. Of course, Jerry is with DVC Store, but so is Jamie. Jamie is his co-worker. And Miss Jamie is quite the expert.
Thank you very much.
I heard you on the phones a few weeks ago, and I said, Jerry, we got to get her on the show.
Well, I appreciate that. DVC member since '07 and been with the timeshare store for 16 years. So
16 years. Wow.
Wow.
And, of course, if you are familiar at all with the DVC forums on disboards.com, then you know Skier Pete. And his cat, apparently.
What's cat.
What's the kitty's name?
The cat is Julia.
Julia. Oh, beautiful. And now, where do you own, Pete?
I own at Animal Kingdom Villas. Technically Kidani, but really it's the same either way. And then also we have a small contract at the Boardwalk.
Cool. Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. And Pete's going to be joining us for a few shows. And in another episode that we're going to do, we're going to talk about this thread Pete maintains that's unbelievable. We're going to talk about that coming up. But for this episode, we are going to discuss something that was brought up on... Oh, I do want to remind everybody, or let everybody know, because I don't know that I have mentioned it on the show once before in the last round that we recorded. We have a few new things on the web for you to check out. We've started a new blog called DVCfan.com, and we've also started a new Facebook group of the same name, DVC Fan. So you should definitely check those out. And this particular topic was something I saw on the DVC Fan Facebook group. People talking about, with the crowds getting to where they are at Walt Disney World, more and more owners are starting to consider, we love DVC, we love Disney, but, we've been doing this for a while. Maybe we don't need to go into the park. So everybody was kind of talking about their favorite resort to visit if they're not going into the parks. And I'm like, okay. And I had like an interesting, my first thought, we'll get to that in a second. My first thought about the resort I chose surprised me. And we did put up a poll on that Facebook group. What do you think the #1 resort was for stays?
I'm going to guess Polynesian.
Polynesian? Jamie, what do you think?
wouldn't be my personal preference, but collectively Boardwalk.
Boardwalk?
Ooh, see, and I know which one it is, so I
Oh,
can't
then you
really
can't,
guess.
if you know. Pete,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're following us on Facebook or not.
I haven't followed the thread. I would think possibly Beach Club.
Beach Club. You're all wrong. Animal Kingdom Lodge by a mile.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, now at the time that I took this snapshot, I don't know exactly how many people, but several hundred people voted. 400 of those votes, 401 to be exact, Animal Kingdom Lodge. 177 for Polynesian, 143 for Beach Club, 72 for Saratoga Springs, 63 for Wilderness Lodge, either Copper Creek or Boulder Ridge. Boardwalk got 49, which surprised me. Old Key West 47, Grand Floridian 13, and Bay Lake Tower only got 9. Poor little Bay Lake Tower only got 9 votes.
That's, I bet you, because of their pool.
Could be. But I was surprised by Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
So personally, now I own at Beach Club, I own at Bay Lake, Copper Creek, and Boulder Ridge for right now. dealing with these guys, it's like a daily struggle. Not because I'll see these contracts come across. I'm like, oh my God, that looks really good, and I got stop. I just put a blog post up this morning about add-on-itis. I had a lot of fun writing it, but I'm like speaking from experience. So, but for me, when I thought about this, I was very surprised. The first resort I thought of was Saratoga Springs, and the main reason was the spa. If I love that spa is gorgeous. And I used to go to that spa all the time when it was the Disney Institute. And Disney owned it. And then they sold it to Nikki Bryan's salons. And she ran it into the ground. Those were awful spas under that company. And then Disney took it back. And she lost the contract. Disney took it back. That spa's amazing. It's one of the best in Orlando, arguably.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do a resort stay where I'm not going to go into a theme park and I'm not going to be doing a lot of that stuff, I want to be close to Disney Springs because I'm going to eat and I'm going to shop, and I want to be close to a spa because I'm going to do spa things. So then that made me start thinking, well, then maybe I should add on at Saratoga.
Of course you should.
Of course I did. Pete, what about you? What would your resort be?
Well, I have to say I would be with the majority there. I wrote down my list, and Animal Kingdom Lodge was my top pick. I think it's a great location for a stay if you're just staying at the resort. In fact, I think that I own there, and I think that the worst part about it is the proximity to the parks. That you have a very long trip to Magic Kingdom. You're not really close to Epcot or Hollywood Studios either. But in terms of the food selection, there's some excellent restaurants there. You have Chico, you have Sanaa, you have I think the Mara is a very good quick service location. You have two excellent pools, in my opinion, both the Kidani Village pool and the Jambo House pool, and also I think the animal programs there. There's a lot of things that you can sign up to do that are very unique. That it doesn't require going into a park. They have story time with the local representatives. They have the night vision, observing the animals at night. There's lots of options for families and things like that. So I think it's a great location for a stay.
Now you got me thinking about Animal Kingdom Lodge. Maybe I should buy a contract there.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
And I especially agree with you about the food. I've said many times, I think Animal Kingdom best F&B food and beverage on Disney property. It's been really consistent whether you're looking at Jico or Boma, the Mara, Sanaa over in Kidani Village, absolutely superb. And has been for years. Now, Jico, we're getting ready to re-review Jico on our dining show because it has fallen off my top 5 list. My last couple of experiences weren't that great. I've been hearing anecdotally from people that it was starting to slip. They had changed chefs, but we're going to re-review it. But historically, overall, Jico's always been a popular one. Jamie, let me come to you.
So when I should have gone with my gut, I said that my choice for personally would have been Animal Kingdom, not where I own. For Pete basically summed up everything I would have said. The location is the biggest thing. So if you're going to be going to the parks, Animal Kingdom isn't going to be, for the most part, isn't going to be ideal for hitting the parks, kind of hard and heavy and getting, because even if you have a car, there's time in between. So if you're going to go there, you're truly relaxing. You're seeing the animals. You're laying. The pools are phenomenal. So I think if it was resort only, and I do get that option living here to just do the resorts, not the parks. If for number one is Animal Kingdom, and above and beyond that, I would even say Jambo would be my preference, but you can walk or bus right over to Kidani. So 100%, I understand why people pick that one. All the same reasons.
Jerry, what about you?
That's a tough one for me because I love them all. I think Polynesian would probably be my favorite because I love Hawaii. Like I love that South Pacific feel, like the plumeria flowers. At Polynesian, the music and the foliage and just the layout and the view of the Magic Kingdom across the lagoon. I mean, to me, it's kind of getting the best of both worlds. You're at Magic Kingdom or in that Magic Kingdom area, plus you've got that South Pacific Hawaiian feel and the music that they play. They've got that ukulele sound going. So, you walk in the lobby and you see Maui, the statue, and you walk in. I don't know. To me, I just feel like I'm at home when I go there. But I love them all.
I don't know that I could stay at the Polynesian or the Grand or the Contemporary and not go into the Magic Kingdom. I don't know that I could do that.
I don't think I could do it.
I like that I'm far enough away that I kind of feel like I'm there, but I'm not there. I can see the fireworks and like I get the vibe, but I'm not dealing with the crowd. So it's okay for me. I like it. I mean,
Also, one of the best quick service anywhere, Captain Cook's.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, Jackie, what about you, Miss Jackie?
Well, so I'm kind of like Jerry, where I love all of that. I mean, I love so many things about each one, but I have to pick the Beach Club because I love that area. I love to be out on the boardwalk. I spent a lot of time as a child in Coney Island. My grandparents lived in Luna Park, and they were up on the 22nd floor, I think. And my aunt lived over in the Trump Towers, so she was up on the 6th floor. And so I used to bebop around that whole area. And Coney Island, just the atmosphere of seeing the games and everything about it, even the clown ridiculous roller coaster that's across the way at the boardwalk. I just love everything about being there. And the pool is great. Everything. The shopping is cool. The dining is cool. It's just a fun place to be. I love jelly rolls.
Well, certainly one of my favorite restaurants on property, always in my top 3 right now, is the Flying Fish.
Amazing.
And was at the boardwalk last week, and I was on the hotel side, but Steve Porter and his wife Michaela I got them a 1-bedroom villa. I wanted to see it. I hadn't seen it since they redid them. Gorgeous.
I haven't seen him since they redid them.
Absolutely beautiful job. And I'm like, okay, well, because this is the problem I'm having now, is every DVC resort I walk into, maybe I should buy here. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's really something like I hit my head.
I think it's common. Again, a lot of clients they buy once, they buy again, they buy.
Yeah, but you see, like, you're less a salesman and more a dealer.
Yeah, true. Actually, that's pretty funny.
Okay,
I mean, you only live once. You have to,
But I will say, I will say, he gives me a lot of good advice. He gives me a lot of good advice on, hey, maybe you want to wait, or maybe be looking more toward this, and but I really there are great things about all of them, honestly. And Bay Lake, we're gonna do that show in a little bit. My review of Bay Lake, I gotta tell you, but I understand why that would not be. I wouldn't pick that one either as a relaxing. If I'm not going into the parks, the biggest perk for Bay Lake Tower is that you can walk into the Magic Kingdom from there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would. It would be too hard to be at Bay Lake and not make that little walk over to Magic Kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, and I feel that way with any of the monorail resorts.
Same here.
Yeah.
Wilderness Lodge, potentially.
Yeah,
potentially. It's not on the monorail. Still, it's close to the Magic Kingdom, but I'm going to see after August, we do the Dreams 20th anniversary event. Mom and I are staying in a cabin at Copper Creek, and I did the tour of those cabins. Yeah. And I thought the bungalows at the Poly were nice.
Oh no, these are
no.
These
next
are
level.
Next level, and the point values are cheaper.
Yeah.
At the cabins than they are at the bungalows. So
yeah, those cabins are beautiful. I was able to take a tour when we were there last year, And I agree. I've been in both the bungalows and the cabins, and those cabins are just beautifully set up.
And I got to be honest, when we did the Boulder Ridge review with Mom, and, we walked down over by the cabins, and I said, well, this is where we're staying in August. It's not that my mother has a particularly flat affect, but it's rare for her to get, like, visibly excited about something.
Aw.
I mean, and she has mentioned it, I don't know, 30 times. Oh, Peter, I can't wait. I can't wait to go. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, let me book it now too, so you can go down, go now and go there.
Aw.
So I did want to throw this in there as like kind of it's same topic, but a little bit. Go to the parks, enjoy the crowds, have that fun, but don't miss out on Vero Beach or even Hilton Head. Like if you're driving down from the northeast,
I've got to get out to Vero.
Vero is amazing. Like talk about a resort
yes.
stay to just go and relax. Like you've gone to Disney, you're there for a week or 5 days or whatever. Take 3 days and unwind at Vero.
Oh,
it is
yes.
amazing. You're right on the water. The food is amazing. The activities are great. It's such a great resort. I would definitely recommend Vero Beach.
Is there anything? This really is another show, but while we're talking about it. Is there anything to do at Vero?
I mean, it's more for me. I mean, they've got putt-putt golf for the little ones. I mean, you could participate. Obviously, they've got the pool. They've got great restaurants, the beach. Like it's a 3-day stay for me.
But
max.
is there anything nearby that resort?
Not really. It's just a.
See, that's where the wheels come off the wagon for me.
It's a beach vacation.
It's a beach town.
And I don't do
totally.
beaches. I'm not a beach guy.
Yeah.
The last time I was on a beach, children were running up with pails of water saying, push it back in, push it back in.
No, come on.
Okay. But, yeah, I don't know. That's what kind of I have to have something to do.
Okay.
Even if I'm, like, just chilling at a resort. So, like I said, for me, Saratoga, the spa, the shopping, the restaurants, that quick walk over to Disney Springs.
There is a spa at Vero Beach.
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
I haven't.
You never
actually
ask a straight man if a spa is good. What am I thinking? But okay, very.
We
interesting.
didn't go to the spa when we were there because the kids were they were younger and we were at the beach. But see, and I'm kind of different because I don't love to sit on the beach because it's hot compared to Washington beaches. It's too hot for me. I can't sit out on the beach all day. But give me a
And she's talking about Washington State,
yes,
not Washington, D.C.
State. Yeah, so Pacific Northwest beaches, they're very different. So freezing cold in the summer. But give me a great little table and chair and my laptop and a magnificent view. I am in heaven. I mean, absolute heaven. If I can see that view, my creative juices start pumping, and that just really floats my boat. And I mean, the color of the water, it's gorgeous. So
And that price per point is pretty cheap.
it's
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
inexpensive, and you feel like you're with the furniture they had when we were there. It felt Cape Cod like to me, and so you feel like you're just, But I mean, of course, now that I'm here, it feels Florida-like to me, obviously. Because,
But do you think this is going to be a growing trend among DVC owners? Like I said, it caught my eye the number of people that were talking about this just kind of randomly. I mean, I ended up putting up a post asking the question, "Where would you stay on a resort only?" Mm-hmm. But it was coming up a lot. I was seeing it on the boards. I was seeing it on Facebook. With this discussion, with the narrative right now about Disney World is crowds, and more crowds.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's Galaxy's Edge is going to be opening. And it's just going to get stupid. And then as soon as that stupid starts to die down, we get the stupid from the 50th anniversary. Mm-hmm. That's going to start up. So, I think that's probably where this discussion is being driven from. And I wonder if this is not going to be more and more of a topic.
I think it is. I mean, I honestly, like with the after hours events that Disney is holding, first of all, theme park tickets are a small fortune. So when you have a family of 4 and you're coming from out of state, theme park tickets are a fortune. So if you can go stay at your Disney Vacation Club resort and have an amazing time there at the resort and not even buy theme park tickets, you're saving a ton of money right there. And if you buy, like, if you do an extra or the after hours event, let's say at 2 parks, you know, so with DVC members, you get a discount. So let's say you do 2 of those during your vacation. You're saving a chunk of money. Even if you don't do those, though.
There's, if we're going to talk about things outside of Walt Disney World, the best DVC resort to do a resort-only stay is Aulani.
100%.
Aulani.
100%.
And I'm going to tell you.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it in Hawaii, let alone anywhere else.
No.
And I've been out there, I don't know, 7 or 8 times now.
When I went there, the comment that I made was, there's no parks. So in Ko'olina, that side of the island is a very quiet side of the island, so there's not a lot going on. I feel like they made it so you never had to leave, and there's no parks. So they thought of everything to keep you.
Well, they had to.
Right
they
there.
had no
Absolutely.
choice.
Absolutely. And they did it. I mean, they hit it out of the park. 100%.
So, and that's actually kind of an interest. And I know the show's going a little longer than I normally do, but we got a good discussion going, so I'll keep it going. It's a nice juxtaposition because a list like this forces us to ask the question, which of these resorts can stand on its own and which ones can't? And, you know, which of these resorts, if you picked it up and put it anywhere else, away from Walt Disney World, would be a popular resort. I think easily Animal Kingdom Lodge would certainly have to top that list.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I agree, too. Even though I didn't pick that one, I agree. Because there's 2 full resorts, and the pool area at each of them is amazing. I agree.
Essentially a zoo that you're walking.
Yeah.
There's a zoo, a 33-acre savanna.
Yeah.
Yep.
Full of animals
Yeah.
that you go out to have your morning coffee and, oh, look, there's a giraffe.
So cool.
You know, things that don't normally happen when I'm in hotels. But all right, that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for this episode of the DVC Show. Thanks, everybody. Had a good discussion there. And we hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back with you again next week. Have a great week, everyone.